What's up, YouTube? What's up, Steelers Nation? Um, Currently, what's today? Wednesday? It's Wednesday, October 23rd. I got off work early. Some news came in, and I decided I'll sit down and make a video. I've seen Deke make a video. I've seen Zay and the Steelers make a video. I've seen, YouTube X, Y, and Z personality make YouTube videos regarding this. So I figured, man, what harm could it do if I got on here and gave my opinion, right? So, um, I'm sure we all heard the news earlier. Let me just bring this over here. Here we go. Nope. There we go. DeAndre Hopkins, man, this is the guy I've been wanting from as soon as we, missed out on Brandon Ayuk. This was the guy I was wanting. DeAndre Hopkins. If you've been around for a while, such as myself, DeAndre Hopkins was top of the league not too long ago. Right now, he's only 32 years old. He's down in Tennessee. He's kind of forgotten about down there a bit, but he still put up. Let's see. He put up over 1,000 yards with Tennessee last year and 7 touchdowns with Tennessee. Last year it was Will Levis was a rookie. I believe they had Tannehill was still there. He played a few games for him. But the Chiefs were able to get DeAndre Hopkins for a fifth-round pick. I think it's a fourth-round pick, depending on probably snaps or yardage or different things like that. I also think Tennessee's taking on some of the salary. And the Chiefs, the rich just get richer. I know they've had a multitude of injuries. Rashid Rice went out. Juju's hurt. Travis Kelce isn't having his strongest season. So they went out and loaded up. This is coming off of I think just a couple weeks ago they got Kareem Hunt. So I was going through Twitter and Twitter was in shambles. Steelers Nation was freaking out, and I saw a tweet that kind of resonated with me, and it said, we act like trading for wide receivers is going down to Walmart and picking somebody up, picking some up off the shelf. It don't work like that. So there's contract negotiations. There's the compensation as far as what the trade value will actually be. So it's not always that simple, but it's not. I mean, I feel like some things it might not be that simple, but I also feel like you can overcomplicate things as well, and we just got to make sure we don't overcomplicate this. We need a receiver. We knew we needed a receiver since before the season started. Ever since we traded away Deontay Johnson, so Brandon Ayuk didn't come through. What can you do? But from there, there's definitely some room for improvement as far as our wide receiver search. So I just kind of want to show some of DeAndre Hopkins' yards here because even though right now he's having a bit of a struggle, over the vast majority of his career, you see he's only not finished over 1,000 yards. Just a couple times here, 4 times, one of them being his rookie year. And the other seasons, he's well above 1,000. So this guy can still play. I know he's a little older. I would have loved to have gotten DeAndre Hopkins, but unfortunately that ship has sailed. So now we have to kind of refocus on what else can make us a better football team. So just to kind of give us a little bit of context here, again, shout out to Zay and the Steelers for the StatMuse plug because I did not realize how much info they had on here. But if you look at our Steelers team, if you look at our numbers, you see a lot of green in the rushing. But when we come over here to the passing, there's some red. Sacks are pretty good, but our rushing attack or our passing attack is struggling a bit. Now that's a combination of a couple things. We had Justin Fields in there for a while, which I'm not saying he was playing bad, but he's just not the pure pocket passer to put up huge numbers like some of the top in the league are. We had Russ come in and play very good, but it was only one game, so it's a small sample size, so it doesn't really affect the numbers too much. Plus, it was week 6. So a lot of numbers had already been in place, so it didn't lead to a lot of fluctuation there. So with Russ being in there again, I am a Fields guy, but I liked what I saw out of Russ. I'm very comfortable with him sitting back there and throwing the ball to some of our playmakers. I believe this number is going to go up. These numbers are going to improve just with him being in there alone. Um, but getting some receiver help is definitely needed, and we all know. Um, Kind of coming down here to our leading receivers for the year. George Pickens, no surprise, 31 receptions on 53 targets. He's got 474 yards, 15 and a half yards average per catch, which is kind of crazy. And he got his touchdown last week. So no surprise, George Pickens is eating. Um, and a lot of this just came in the last game. Pat Fryermuth, our tight end, is our second leading receiver, both in receptions and in yards. He also is having a good, solid average on each catch that he is making. So, Pat Fryermuth has 24 receptions on 29 targets for 245 yards, and he's got 2 touchdowns. After that, it's going by receptions. So after that, it's actually Najee Harris with 14 receptions on 20 targets, a buck 35, no touchdowns. Calvin Austin has 11 catches on 21 targets, 203 yards. So technically, he is our third leading receiver as far as yardage, just with less catches. He also has a touchdown. I believe that was the game against Denver, where he broke out and got all those yards after the catch and scored a touchdown. Darnell Washington, is great to see him up on this list. He's got 10 receptions on 11 targets for 91 yards and a touchdown. Shout out Darnell Washington. Van Jefferson, we forgot this guy was even on the team. He got on the board last week. He got his first touchdown as a Steeler, and I'm not gonna lie, I was happy to see it. It's not that I want Van Jefferson to do bad. I think sometimes fans confuse, wanting their team to do better with wanting their team, or in this case, players, to actually be bad. Like they actually want their team to be bad. They actually want their players to play bad, just for like an "I told you." That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, man. I want Van Jefferson to ball out. We could only go off of what we seen, and the last time we saw him, he looked pretty good. He was open. Russ found him the ball. I think he had like 2 or 3 catches last game. He had at least 2, and he found the end zone. So shout out Van Jefferson. Then from here, I'm not going to read all these out because these aren't even receivers at this point. We got our 2 backup running backs, Connor Hayward, Scotty Miller, which I actually really like. Brandon Johnson got a random catch in that game where George Pickens got benched. McCole Pruitt made his return back to the lineup this past week. And then I don't get why Zach Frazier's on here. It says he has negative 2 yards receiving. I don't know what that means, but we'll just act like we didn't see that. So I kind of just wanted to bring this up to give you a little bit of context over where we're currently at as a team. And, we could probably slide a number 2 receiver in right here, right behind George Pickens, right above Pat Fryermuth. Calvin Austin still playing in the slot. Van Jefferson there for our rotation. Roman Wilson, I don't know if they're planning to play that guy this year or not, but if they weren't, it would actually help a lot if we had another receiver because he can kind of learn behind Calvin Austin. So Calvin Austin knows a lot about missing time, in your rookie year. So that would actually work out really well. So a couple of names that were being floated around. One, of course, is the man right here, Triple Crown winner of a couple years ago, Super Bowl MVP, Cooper Kupp, dynamic receiver, one of the best in the league. However, he is 31. He's coming off of an injury, a pretty serious injury, and he just. I'll show you here in a second, but let's highlight him real quickly. So, NFL champion, Super Bowl MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. Don't forget about that. So far this year, he's only got 4 catches on 6 targets for 37 yards. I believe he's only played 2 games. Yes, he's only played 2 games this season. So not a large sample size. And then when you kind of go through here and look at some of his history. So it's 2024, he's played 2 games. Last year, he only played 12. The year before, he only played 9. Now, he did play 17 the year they won the Super Bowl. 15, 16 the year before, but then 8. So out of all 8 years, he's only played double digit games. Well, I guess count his rookie season is 5 times. I was about to say 4. Okay, so that's not as bad as I was thinking. But this is what scared me here: 2 games, 12 games, 9 games. Ever since he went off in 2021, and when I say he went off, he went crazy. Almost 2,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 145 receptions. It don't get no better than that. Those are Antonio Brown numbers. The only thing is Antonio Brown did it for 6 years in a row. But Cooper Kupp, man, he is one of the best. I'm not going to sit here and knock him. You can't control if you get hurt or not. I believe he's on the smaller side. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He's bigger than I thought. He's 6'2", 207. Okay, well, never mind. The only thing that makes me really worried with this is, the injury history and then his contract. I know this guy gets paid a whole lot of money. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it shows his contract situation here. Nah, I do have another one pulled up from ESPN. Let me see. Let's do this. Oh my. I don't even know how to read this. Yeah, let's try this a little differently. Okay, so he signed a 3-year, $80 million contract. Holy. So he signed that in 2022. Is this the third year? Sheesh. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how to read this. This is very confusing. But okay, here it is. 2023, $5 million due. That's already done. 2024. Oh yes, 2024. So that part's done. 2025. That's already done. So yeah, pretty much all his money is guaranteed. Technically, next year I see it now. So this year he's making 15. Next year he makes 12 and a half, and then he makes just under 15 again. There's a lot of money left on this guy's contract. It's going to have it's going to have an effect on our overall roster building. Granted, we can figure that out down the line. It really doesn't matter right now. The only thing that would matter right now is getting Cooper Kupp in Pittsburgh. But I bring this up just, I bring up the injuries, I bring up the age, I bring up the contract because these are all heavy factors. I don't think it's just as simple as let's go send a second round pick for Cooper Kupp. If we get Cooper Kupp, I'd be very happy. Don't get me wrong. If he's healthy, he's one of the best. It's just that simple. Is he going to be healthy? That's the question. How will his money affect our ability to re-sign Russ or re-sign Justin Fields? I don't know what the Steelers are planning to do at quarterback after the season, but we're going to have to do something. Neither one of those guys are under contract for next year, so this could have an effect on our quarterback. George Pickens is going to be due some money. Maybe if Najee Harris continues the ball, maybe we'll want to re-sign him, which we could have gave him the 5th-year option. That's neither here nor there. But basically, there's some people that are going to need some money. So if they do make the move, I'll be happy with it. But there's going to be some risk involved there. And in my opinion, there's a couple other people we could go at. There was People are floating out, Cortland Sutton. People are floating out DJ Metcalf. People are floating out that Mike Williams dude that we just played, especially after Aaron Rodgers threw him under the bus a couple weeks ago, where he said he ran the wrong route and yada yada. To me, all of those guys would be great. DK Metcalf would obviously be the number one. Him and George Pickens. I mean, what are we talking about here if we got those two? I don't see Seattle let him go. They're trying to make the playoffs. It wouldn't make sense for them to let him go. But I would definitely trade a second round pick for DK Metcalf, excuse me. Who I think is a realistic target for us, which I've mentioned this guy in one of my past videos. One of my friends actually mentioned him, and I was like, hey, I could see it. This man here, Adam Thielen, he does not have a lot of money left on his contract. He is a bit older, however, he is also coming off of IR, so some of the same red flags that I had for Cooper Kupp just a moment ago are similar to what we have here for Adam Thielen. The only thing is, Adam Thielen is not anywhere near as expensive as a Cooper Kupp. Neither his contract, which, let's see. Can we look up? Let's see. Adam Thielen contract. Okay, so he's on a 4-year, $19 million deal. Cooper Kupp was on a 3-year, $80 million deal. Sheesh. But Cooper Kupp, I mean, he is coming off of IR. He has 6 games played. Oh no, that's playoffs. I think he might only play 1 or 2 games this year, if I'm honest with you. Let's see. Yes, 3 games played, all at the beginning of the year. Very, very pedestrian numbers. But he does have a touchdown. We do have to remember, no disrespect to Bryce Young, but he was playing with Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers during these 3 games. This is well before Andy Dalton became the starter. So take these numbers with a grain of salt, all right? Adam Thielen is affordable. We could probably get this guy for a 5th-round pick. We could just pay him his normal salary. We wouldn't have to worry about fluctuating things too much. And this is who I would look at as far as getting a receiver. It's dependable, has good hands, knows his role, isn't coming in here to start trouble, wouldn't be coming in and demanding the ball or anything like that. So if you ask me, this is where I would put my money into. This is what I would do if I was Omar Khan. I'm getting a receiver somehow, some way if I'm Omar Khan. I just want to try and get the best bang for my buck. And in my opinion, it would be Adam Thielen. Again, I won't be mad if we get Cooper Kupp. I don't really see it happening, although they have mentioned that the Rams are actually calling people looking to see what the interest level would be and what kind of compensation they could get for Cooper Kupp. They probably see, he's hurt. Puka Nacua has been hurt. Their season's kind of slipping away a bit. Let's just try to salvage what we can, get some value for what we can, and, probably just look forward to going in for next year is probably what they're looking at. So that's what I had on it. I don't really have much else to add. This video ended up being almost 20 minutes. I thought it'd be more of a 10-minute video. Sorry for rambling, but if you do, if you guys have any thoughts on who you would like to see in the black and gold, come be our receiver, let me know down below. I'm kind of gauge some different options, and there's just a lot of receivers out there, man. Some I probably just didn't even think of. So let me know if you guys have any ideas below. If you do enjoy my content, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm just an old man who rambles. But be sure to leave me a like if you haven't already. It really helps the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And hey, thank you, man. Here we go, Steelers. Let's see what happens. But I'm getting out of here. GG's.